Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the painting and build tutorial for Kingdom Death Monster, the Watcher. This is going to be part 2. We're going to go ahead and paint some of the pieces for the Watcher, and Alright, we're going to start off. I don't know if you watched my Phoenix build, but I went ahead and this inside here is actually painted black. I kind of wanted a darker hue, but I actually need to get inside this area here inside his hood. So that's actually going to be the first thing I'm going to tackle. I'm just going to use some Abaddon black. And I apologize, trying a new camera setup yet again. Trying to figure out which one is going to be the best setup. Alright, here's some Abaddon. Let's go ahead and pick a decent medium-sized brush. Medium to small, just to get in there. Black. To get the shading. And I made sure when I did this that I actually avoided doing the lantern itself. I'm doing kind of a thicker coat just because, I mean, this is going to be black, so it's not really going to matter too much later on. Inside of this cowl, because we'll go ahead and paint that as well to match the other cowl pieces. Alright, so that seems to be in order. And let's go with some Rhinox hide, which, if you remember, was the spray that I ended up using on the back side of, well, the spray paint that I used for the Watcher build itself. So make sure to get every area that needs to be covered here again. Dingy brown, tattered clothes look. So I haven't seen any artwork of the Watcher, so I don't actually know what color scheme he's supposed to be in. But I like the idea of just like a cloak, like a brown cloak, kind of hovering around with the survivor's lantern inside of it. So, if you know a different color scheme, go ahead and feel free to let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the artwork and Kingdom Death Monster yet, until I get my copy and I get my rule book and all that kind of stuff. seen a picture online of a painted watcher, but I'm not sure if I'm happy with the way that one turned out. I mean, it was a very good paint job. I'm not saying that the paint job was incorrect, bad. I'm just saying I didn't find it all that appealing with the luminescent blue cloak, purple scarf type deal. But I like the way that he did the lanterns and the lighting on those. I went ahead and tried to do that with mine as well. Well, with this one, I should say. Not mine. I'm going to get a bigger brush. Basically what we're doing is we're just doing a nicer coat of the Rhinox. I'm going over that spray paint coat just to make sure that the color match is there for all the pieces. And if you didn't want to do this step, I mean, you don't have to. I just wanted to make sure that all my question is do I want to do I don't want to do that part. Let me just do a quick This isn't something that's probably going to show up. I may end up doing over it, so it looks pretty decent with the slight dry brush over the top of that. Alright, now what we're going to do is, well, no, actually, let's finish off all the pieces. That's too watered down now. So it's quite a bit thicker than I would have wanted, but wet shade. Crack some crevices. Should have done this ahead of time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I realized that I had said that there's probably not, a decent color scheme out there to find, but actually I'm going to throw a picture up here of something that I saw on the Kickstarter of the Twilight Cloak, a mysterious relic crafted from a fallen watcher. Now, obviously these are watchers, and based on the artwork that I looked at and saw the Twilight Cloak was created from, basically the Watcher's Cloak is like a darkish greenish gray kind of color. So I'm going to go ahead and right on top of the brown, I'm just going to go ahead and put some green on there and go ahead and start doing some shading that way. As you can see, let me try to get the lighting here a little bit better so you can see what we're working with. So there we go. Alright. So we're going to try working with some green. I'm going to use some green skin from Army Painter and some Army Green from Army Painter as well. I may end up, we could also use Wa Flesh from Citadel or Strachan Green from Citadel. As you can see, pretty comparable colors we got going on there. I'm just trying to give people options, whether or not they want to spend a ton of money on Citadels and their paint pots, or they like the squeezy bottles of the Army Painter. I don't mind either one. They're alright. Both of them have their merits. I do like the squeezy bottles, but sometimes I just want to be able to dip my brush in the paint pot and go that route. So I'm gonna start with some Army Green. We're gonna go ahead and just do a light coat of Army Green right off the bat, just to see what it's gonna look like. And according to the artwork, honestly, this is the exact color as that the artwork looks like it is. I'm probably gonna have to do a few coats here and there. So I will I actually like the way this is going to turn out anyways. So yeah, we're going to give them that greenish hue, and when I come back, I'm going to have all of it painted, and then we'll go ahead and start doing some shading. Alright folks, we're back. I had some minor technical difficulties with my camera, and I'm going to apparently have them again and again until I get this situated. There we go. Alright, so what I ended up doing before I realized that my camera was not recording, I went ahead and actually I guess we gotta go down a little bit. There we go. I went ahead and highlighted with a little bit of it's the Strachan Green, and I'll actually go over on the front here what I did on the back, because I realized in time before I even got that far that I hadn't even recorded anything. So basically what I'm doing is I'm highlighting the areas where the sunlight would basically touch. I'm trying to do just a little bit, just a little shading of kind of like the sunlight where that would hit, or any light, I guess, because I mean technically when these survivors are fighting, it's not really that light, and you're gonna end up probably changing the type of lighting color that we're going to be using once I get the lanterns installed, because I don't really like this whole sunlight kind of light going on here. It'll end up being like the orangish glow from the lanterns that he's stolen. Also, based off of the pictures, instead of painting those strings, because those are actually what we're going to get hit next, the ropes and strings are actually, according to the picture that they have online of the Twilight Cloak, which you apparently have stolen from this watcher, his ropes are red. So we're going to go ahead and paint those with a nice red. Oh, see, I got a little bit carried away there. Go ahead and turn it like this. Kind of get right there. Just give it a nice little highlight. And then we'll go back later and go ahead and do some more shading on it with a darker green, like the underside here. I guess I should go back and mention what I ended up doing with this, with the cloak. I went ahead and used the army green all over, but I didn't like the way it looked. It looked just, it looked a little too plain. Didn't look very worn. And I imagine, the watcher here, he's kind of worn through things. So I ended up using the Citadel Typhus Corrosion, placing it over, and that's kind of where you get the shading, and it looks like a, a more textured look towards, like, fabrics and stuff. Let me see if I can't get it zoomed in. There we go. It gives it like a fabric-y, because Typhus Corrosion is actually supposed to be like a, what do I want to say? What's the word I'm looking for? Like a rust, for metal and things like that. But I like sometimes, using it on cloth pieces if I want to make them dirty, because it's a nice, like, oil mix kind of going on. There we go. I like the way it gives you the the texture and the shading all at once. I apologize if sometimes I get out of camera. My monitor is my TV, which is hooked up right above my workstation, and I have to look up and see what I'm doing and messing up. So you can see here that we'll get it. The highlighting parts, it'll be the front here, and above the hood, and then kind of on top, just a nice little dry brush. And you can see it looks alright. I mean, it doesn't look, completely horrible, which is, kind of what we're going for. So let's go ahead and do the strings. I'm going to go ahead and back out a little bit. So we have 4 as far as I know, and then we have the ones that are on the inside of him here. I'm going to use some Mephiston red mixed with a little bit of let's see, what do I want to mix it with? And you could end up, actually, you know what? I'm going to use some Mephiston red on top of the chaotic red from Army Painter, so this way I don't have to put any black in the Mephiston. So I'm going to paint with the chaotic red first, definitely on the insides, here where it's darker, this way. So it'd be a darker red inside there, because obviously there's not a lot of light going on up in his lack of body, I guess. It's out of, see, look at him, out of focus. You guys gotta yell at me, and then I'll come back in, I promise. So we're just gonna go ahead and put some of this chaotic red up in here. Fix my brush. Alright, so that's better. And I know it's kind of hard to see with the light and everything. I'll show you guys a close-up after I finish up here. Yes, I really didn't. You're not going to see that. Pay no attention to the paint behind the curtain, and you'll have a good day.
you know, just painting this one red. And honestly, that's the only artwork other than the one that, like I said, I've already seen completed, and that artwork was on the Kickstarter. So I'm going on the hopes that that was the intention of I guess Adam Poots and whomever he has to do his artwork, that he wanted it, you know, the red. And there is a tiny little rope right here. Remember the single one that I couldn't figure out where it went. Luckily, somebody had posted on one of my YouTube videos that is actually where it was supposed to go, not attached to the other lanterns like I had thought. So, alright, so we've got those done. I actually really like the dark red, hue that we've got going on here with this this rope on the inside. I mean, it looks awesome. You can kind of see it. There we go. I mean, that looks amazing. So we don't have any on this side, but now we have to do the lanterns themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the red, the dark red again, just because I liked the color. I mean, it gives it, you know, more of an eerie feel, I guess. We'll stick with the Mephiston for later. And actually, I'm going to switch out brushes. I don't need this tiny brush any longer, because, you know, that's not real tiny work right there. I can get a nice, decent sized brush. Just make sure to take quite a bit of the paint off, and go ahead and just paint that right up, and that should look amazing. I mean, once you get these glued in, you're going to be just in awe. Everybody's going to want to end up playing your game, and then they're going to buy their own game and then just get really mad that it didn't come painted because you forgot to tell them that you did it yourself, which I'm sure you didn't, but they'll have forgotten, and then they'll ask you to paint it, and you make some money. So hopefully you can get some more friends to play Kingdom Death Monster, because I hear the price point is a problem for a lot of people, and it is if you don't have people to play with. Honestly, if you know you're going to have a decent group to play with, I would recommend possibly pitching in, having people pitch in money for a game if they want to play it. Maybe they buy one of the expansions or something, or something like that, or they help you pay for painting the miniatures for them to give them the experience. I mean, I'm not all about having people pay you to play your game either, because I mean, you should want people to play your game with you, but if you're worried about the price point, I mean, there's always things that you can work out with people. I ended up buying my own copy when they had the pre-order, mostly for the miniatures. So then I'm going to end up painting my miniatures as well, and I may end up putting it up for auction. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, because Nick from Board Game Brawl ended up backing it and getting the expansions and things like that, which I will not be able to get, you know, with my one pre-order. So I may end up just playing his copy when he has his games. There we go. And so there we have it. You see, it dries a nice dark red, and if you look on the picture, it is a brighter red. So what we're gonna do for these outside ones, I didn't really want to, but we're gonna give it just a little bit of a dry brushing of the Mephiston red, which is the very bright red color. And I think that'll actually end up making it pop as well. But the inside ones, oh, definitely. Just keep those with the darker red, because, you know, that's the shaded part anyhow. So here's the Mephiston red, you know, very bright. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit on for some dry brushing. Alright, so that's that one. That's that one. And you know what, with this outside one, I think this is going to be a better fit. Because like I said, that inside one with the dark red, just contrasted against that black, just looks amazing. There's that one. And I know these are supposed to be underneath as well, but you know, they're kind of hanging out from underneath him a little bit, so I mean, you can give yourself some kind of credit there as to why, you know, these ones are particularly not completely dark red and have a little bit of a lighter tone to them. So that's the those ropes. Now the one thing I realize I keep jumping around, but I'm kind of trying to let things dry as I'm moving along. We're going to move on to the I don't know what color to paint those yet. We're going to move on to these cloak scarf pieces, scarves, you know, what have you. Now, on the picture of the Twilight cloak, which you know apparently steal from the Watcher, what had happened was these faces here are actually ripped off faces apparently. So they're all different colors. Let me click on the picture so I can have reference real fast. They are, yeah, they're white and gold and brown. So the base color though, however, is like a sand kind of color. So I am going to actually use some XV88 if I can find it right off the bat. And XV88 is kind of like a brownish hue. Of course, is the one color that is not at my table. XV88. Let me go back to my video so I can see that you guys can see. Alright, so XV88. It's a Citadel color. It's kind of like a sandy yellow. Now I could have used this desert yellow, but I want to try to keep it a little bit darker. Shake this up. Get a little bit on my brush, a lot off of my brush, and I'll show you. We're gonna go right along here now. So we're going to spread this out a lot because I put up too much on my brush is what happened here. But you're going to end up wanting to do both sides, that's the thing. So that's not too horrible. And of course my camera doesn't want to focus, but you can kind of see. I'm getting both sides in on there. Going that route. There we go. Difficult part will come later when we need to paint the faces, just so you know. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'll paint all these for you and then come back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And I have gone ahead and I'd gone ahead and painted all of the scarves, I guess they are. So you can see that probably needs another coat. And this is going to be what we're going to be working on next. You can see the faces there, and then there's some faces on this one. We're going to go ahead and paint those faces. I'm actually going to use some Kislev flesh from Citadel right now, just to give it a light color, and then we may go ahead and just probably shade over what we have there.
So you can see how the face is there. Now we're just going to go ahead and it's pretty. Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and do all the face. So I'm going to shade it later. Unfortunately, my key slab is very, very wet. Next one, focus. Sorry. It looks like there's some hair involved here as well with some of those faces. So we're gonna go ahead and probably paint up some of that hair as well. So it's okay to kind of get on top of the head. There we go. You can see like the hair. There's the camera right there, and on top of the head, and above that one as well. So I went ahead and I got mostly all of the face painted. So that's that one, and then we have one more. Well, actually a lot more on this particular piece right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint all those. This one doesn't look like there's much hair. I'm actually going to do every other one with the Kislev. I guess it's Kislev flesh. I'm going to do every other face with the Kislev. And then, because of the way it looks like on the artwork, there's a bunch of different colors. I may end up just doing random amounts. So, I'm going to go ahead and paint all these faces so this way the camera doesn't keep going in and out. And I will return with all the faces painted, and then we'll go ahead and do the shading afterwards. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and finished the faces off. You can kind of see what I did was I used the Kislev flesh as one of the colors that I used to paint some of the faces, and I ended up using what's called the tan flesh Army Painter to do the others, to give it, the different kind of face shading. Well, not shading, but what's the word I'm looking for? Skin tones. So I went ahead and did that on those. Actually, what I'm going to also do is I'm going to, on a few of them, I'm going to use the Agrax Earth Shade shade. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this. On some of the faces that's actually on this one here. And give it even a darker look. On some of those faces. There's that one. This one here. Because obviously, your survivors are supposed to all be, all be different, not the same skin tone kind of deal. So I kind of like that. He's got multiple faces on here of different skin tones from your particular survivors that is captured and taken over. And I may end up going over with some known oil just to give the depth that I'm looking for as well. I just have to find my oil shade, which is the darker of the two. It's basically black, but it's a shade. Go ahead and just go over these two faces that are on this one here. Let's see how that turns out. And I haven't colored the hair yet on these. That's the only thing that I haven't done. But you can see with the known oil, kind of gives it the pop and makes those eyes, very dark. But the hair is the last thing that I'm going to go ahead and do probably on these. A little bit more. I don't know if I want to do the whole faces, actually. I think I'm just going to do the eyes with the known oil. And see how that looks after it dries. So you can see I'm not doing the whole face now, because I don't want to darken the whole face. I like a little bit of the color to show through, but I want those dark black soulless eyes kind of looking out. Maybe do some on the lips. Very lightly. On the sides of the face. Bring out those shadows from the hair. And the Agrax brought out the eyes in the other ones, so you don't really have to go back over those with the known oil. That one just kind of looks a little funky, so I went ahead and did that one again. It sucks looking on this small stuff with this camera because it doesn't want to. Focus all the time. So that's these. I think we've got it pretty good. Pretty good shade for these eyes with the known oil. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to let them sit and dry, and if I don't like the way it looks, I'm going to go back over it with just a little bit of washed out Abaddon black, because the black there will actually, it will completely pop. I'm going to go ahead and close up these spots, and we are going to start on the we're going to start on the lanterns, because those are going to be a big part of the so I'm going to just stick 4 of them right now. I have one left. Trying to get the camera. Yeah, I have one left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Warp Block Bronze, and I'm going to base coat them in Warp Block Bronze. I'm going to base coat the entire lantern. I can stick this one in there.
I'm going to go with these 5, and then I'm going to just move on to the one with the ropes, and then we're going to go back with those. We are going to use some Balthazar gold for a little bit of highlighting, and then we will get into painting the light that's going to be coming out of it. So let's open up the Warlock Bronze, shake it up, get a paint down there. I'm going to put this one out of screen, just I'm not going to go through the pot with this one because this is a thicker paint. So I'm going to add water to it off camera, just so everybody knows. Like I said, this is a thicker paint, so I don't want to get too much in detail. Okay, so I actually have to shave this one off, so I'm going to take them off right now. I'm going to grab my hobby knife. I missed doing that when we had them out the first time, and I'm going to make sure that that bottom is completely flat. This way when we paint it doesn't look. So let's start with the bottoms. You can see the color. It's going to give it a nice kind of bronze look, because obviously we're using Warlock Bronze. We're probably going to go over with the Abaddon Black before we go ahead and do the lighting for it. So let's go ahead and do the top. And don't be afraid to get on that that feather. We'll eventually paint that red, like the well, let's just go here then. Like the ropes that we have, you know, the dark red, but I think I'm going to use the bright red for the feathers, just to give it, you know, a little more definition and break it up from that dark red. So that is that. This one. You can see I'm kind of just doing it down and dirty, and actually I'm not, I'm sorry, I had lied about going ahead and painting the whole thing, because I'm going to try to keep away from the center there, where we're going to put the flames and everything, just because in order to mix the colors for the flames, I want to have nothing really there, which makes it a little bit easier. Let's do this one. And you can see the S's, you can see the S's, like the squiggly lines on these. That's actually what we're going to paint with the Balthazar gold. And I could be using a smaller brush. I would recommend using a smaller brush if you're just starting out doing this. I just don't mind using a bigger one. I think I'm doing alright. Let's start on this one. And obviously we're going to have to go back and do the handles, which is going to be fine, because I mean those would just be Balthazar or Warlock Bronze, so you shouldn't have to worry about really doing those, because you'll be able to set yours in the easier than you can painting them like this, because as you've seen, they don't stay too well. They don't want to stay too well, I should say. They're working on it, but it's slow. So where is the one that I dropped? So here's the one that I dropped. I'm going to hold it just by the handle itself. And go that route. And if you're afraid to get paint on your fingers, you're probably in the wrong line of work, because I constantly get paint on my fingers. And
and that's okay. I do have gloves for when I spray paint, and I have to hold a miniature or something to get certain angles, and I hardly ever use them. So we'll go ahead and do this. And actually, looking at this now, I may end up just doing Balthazar for the handles. I'm not sure. I'm gonna like it completely. I think having consistency in the way that the just the accents are going to be that gold. You can see there that you know, there's like a knot kind of deal, and we didn't paint that red, and we probably should have. But now that we've got the warp block on there, it'll be easier to go ahead and see. And then you're still gonna have to paint the feathers, the bright red, or if you choose, I mean, you can do the dark red. It's up to you. I don't want to tell you how you have to paint your miniature. This is just totally a suggestion. Eventually, folks, I'll learn how to use my camera so that I can set it up. Alright, so that one's gonna dry. Move on to this one. Let me see if I can help you get it out here. Using the turning off autofocus. Alright, so we got the next one. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And don't forget, we're going to have to repaint those knots, but it'll be easier because then you know where you're supposed to be painting after everything's painted with this Balthazar. Or, sorry, with the warp block bronze, Balthazar will be the highlights. And you can choose on these if you want the raised areas to be Balthazar. Obviously, you know, the details on the other ones, the larger ones with the squiggly lines, the S's and such, are what I'm going to end up using the Balthazar for. And I didn't even think about using it for these simple ones here. There we go. That's the bottom, so it doesn't matter, but I want to make sure even coverage and get some off of my brush. So, two with the same. Alright, so that's that. We have two more to go. We got this one. Well, two more altogether. Apparently we have more than two lanterns to paint. But I don't know what color you ended up painting your original lanterns. The lanterns that I originally painted for Board Game Brawl were a warp block bronze, just because as soon as I saw the lantern, that's the immediate color that popped out at me. Thinking, you know, oh, you know, this is an older type of lantern kind of deal. So I went ahead and painted them all the warp block bronze. I did not get a chance to highlight them, nor paint them completely how I wanted before I had to give them to Nick for his live play that we did. But eventually I'm going to steal them back. You hear that? And repaint them for him, because I don't feel that they are up to par with my my standards. He enjoys them. He thinks that they're really good looking. Unfortunately, there was some places that I messed up, and I just didn't have time because I was trying to paint so many things at the same time to give him, you know, a unique first experience playing the game. painting the lion and the bases and creating the base for the lion. I don't have a tutorial on that. If you really want to see my paint job for the lion, you can check out Board Game Brawl. The first playthrough that we did, first couple minutes after we start talking, he ends up talking about the miniatures and showing you the paint and showing you the base that I had created for the lion and painted all the miniatures for the game. And then you can also see it in his review of Kingdom Death Monster. So it depends on what you want to look at if you care about any of my other painting abilities, I guess. But according to him, the way the book reads is you encounter a white lion with a blue mane. So that was what I based my my interpretation of the paint job on. Just so you know, I had missed this the first time. There's a lip on these. I probably missed it on. No, I didn't miss it on those because they were upside down. And I mean, it's up to you if you want to paint them, but you know they're there. And if you don't paint them, you're like me. It'll just bug you. I'm sorry, you can't see this one, but I'm holding it. This one here, you can tell. See that lip right there. Yeah. I just have to paint everything to make myself happy. And that's actually going to be the first thing I paint on this one, so I don't forget it. Alright, so that's that. That's that. I don't want to do those, that's fine. Alright, so bottom. Alright, so that is all of the lanterns finished painting. Just in terms of, there's a hair on there. Just in terms of the outsides of them. We haven't done any of the flames yet, so they're not completely finished. I'm just meaning, you know, the nice base coat for all of them. And obviously, you know, you can see these here. Let me get the light better. There you go. You can see how they look. There you go. And we're going to use, remember, the warp block, or the Balthazar on those S's and everything. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes out after we end up painting the flames. I think that might be it for this video, though. I think I'm going to go into the flames the next video and go ahead and paint these, I'm assuming, which are also flames. I have to do some more research, and then we'll go ahead and do some more highlighting and shading on the cowl, not the cowl, but the cloak, the face, and we'll go ahead and do a little bit more shading on the cowl that he has as well. If you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm pretty good about getting back to you guys. So the next video, like I said, we're going to go ahead and do the more shading on these guys. We'll go ahead and I'll work on the flames because that's actually, it's going to be a little bit tricky. And I just want to make sure I'm going to test it out on one of these just so I can get it right for you guys to make it, you know, have a nice glow. So that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and click like. If you didn't like what you saw, go ahead and give a comment and tell me what you didn't like, and I'll go ahead and try to change it. So thank you very much, and goodbye.